Hi team, welcome back to another virtual class. I hope you're all well. Any queries or concerns, you know where to find me. We have these classes for 7 days, so feel free to use them as many times as you like. If you haven't already roll yourself out for a little bit. Feel free to pause the video and jump back in when you're ready. A couple of standard things just to remind you of. Be careful of your space. Make sure you have got room around you. You want to have enough room around you that you feel safe and you're not going to run into anything. Listen to your bodies. If there's something that I ask you to do that's just not right for your body today, then just leave it out. It will literally be minutes before we kick through to the next thing. So always be mindful of that, team. I'm going to start you up on your rollers. So if you don't have a roller or don't want to use your roller, this can still be done on the floor. So either is fine. But I will start you on your rollers today. So we're going to put our hips on one end and our head on our other end. As you're putting yourself down on your roller, just take some time to think about your alignment. So you should have your hips right on the end of the roller. That way when you go down, you will have room for your head on the other end. Just check your alignment. Knees and feet in line with each other and feet straight. They can be a little bit closer if you prefer. They don't need to be too far away, but you don't want wide feet, okay? So knees in line with hip bones, knees in line with ankle joints and second toes. You can roll down onto your roller like I am, or you can put your hands on the mat. Rolling down will take a little bit more, be a bit more challenging for your balance. Okay, or you could just use your hands. And once you're down there, you're going to take a moment to think about your head, neck and shoulder alignment. So you should have a gap between your chin and your chest. That should take your gaze straight towards your ceiling. If your chin is tucked too far into your chest, your gaze will be slightly further down the room in front of you. If your chin is up off of your chest and you've got your head in what we call neutral spine, your gaze should be up sort of towards the ceiling. We're going to hang in goalpost. Now once you're down here, if you feel like your feet are a little bit further, a bit too far away, you can literally just slide them towards you. Slide them towards you as opposed to lifting them up, and that means you should be able to keep your alignment that you set up before you came down. Okay, goalpost position. Now this is even a nice stretch even if you're on the floor, so feel free to lie on the floor in your goalpost position. You should feel a stretch across the front of your chest. This stretch can be done against a door frame. So if you imagine lying your forearm and your palm of your hand against a door frame and just leaning your body through into it. So if you've got a door frame that you could lean into throughout your day, you would achieve this stretch as well. There are 3 different positions you could do that in. So we're going to try them a little bit differently here on the roller. So what I want you to do is just bring your arms further up by your ears. Still try and keep them bent slightly. So there's stretch number 2. If you're against a door frame, you would slide your hands up the door frame. That would give you a second stretch. So just changes where the stretch is directed to. Then you're going to slide your elbows down towards your waistline. And again, that changes the stretch just slightly. And you're going to breathe some nice big deep breaths. If you're on the door frame, you would slide your hands down the door frame and you'll get a different stretch. So for me, number 1 and number 3, those number 1 position and number 3 positions are the most greatest for me today. Tomorrow might be different. You might find number 1 and number 2 are your greatest stretch. You don't want to hurt yourself, but you do want to feel the stretch achieving something. So just nice stretch to hang in front of of your roller in your goalpost position, and you should feel that as you hang there, you get that stretch across your chest and your arms start to feel like they're dropping a bit further down towards the ground. And you can move through those 3 different sections. You don't need to just hang in the one. Alright. Let's bring our hands and place our hands on our rib cage. So I want you to have your hands at the base of your ribs, and I want you to have your middle fingers just touching each other. So that's going to give you feedback about your breath patterns. You're going to start with some breathing. You're going to breathe in through your nose for me, and you're going to breathe out through your mouth. Big deep breath in through your nose, and out through your mouth. And as you take those nice big deep breaths, your ribs are expanding. As you take those nice big deep breaths, you are breathing into the back of your rib cage. So you feel your ribs expanding, they're opening up towards the ceiling, they're going out towards the side, and they're also gently pushing on that roller. Using your full lung capacity, letting as much air into your lungs as you can, and then slowly letting all that air out. Okay, one more breath pattern for me. Big deep breath in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Hands stay on your ribs, or one hand staying on your ribs, other hand coming to your belly. So you can do some diaphragmatic breathing. You're going to breathe with your bellies. So you're going to breathe in, and as you breathe in, you feel your belly lifting up underneath your hand, and as you breathe out, you're going to feel that belly just gently dropping back down. So as you breathe in, your belly gently lifts. As you breathe out, that belly gently lowers. So you're going to keep breathing like that. We know that this movement is created by accentuating the breath with our diaphragm. Our diaphragm lifts and lowers, it's in the base of our rib cage, and as it lifts and lowers, it pushes on those internal organs. And that is what you're feeling moving underneath your hand. It pushes on your internal organs. Feel that movement underneath your hand. It warms up the abdominal wall. So the muscles that make up the abdominal wall are starting to get warm just by breathing. Your pelvic floor is connected to your diaphragm, so that both are moving at the same time. Your pelvic floor lifts and lowers. So it's a gentle exercise in your pelvic floor just by doing diaphragmatic breath. 2 more. Breathing in through your nose, feel that belly lift underneath your hand. Breathe out. And last one, big deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. We're going to get rid of our rollers. So if you can bring your arms to your side, gently roll to one side, slide your roller out from underneath you, just shove it right out the way. We're not going to use it again, and lie flat down on your back. It should feel good when you get off your roller. Okay, recheck your alignment. Knees in line with ankle joints, second toes in line with knees and ankle joints, knees in line with hips. Arms are down by your side. We're going to go palms down today. Recheck that head, neck and shoulder alignment, chins up off of your chest. Hang here for a second. I want you to do a body scan. I want you to scan how your body feels on the mat. I want you to start with the top of your head and just work your way down through your head, neck and shoulder area. What is touching the mat and what isn't touching the mat? Does your shoulder on your left feel higher than your right, or vice versa? Start to think about your rib cage. What is touching the mat and what isn't touching the mat? Left to right may well be different. Down through your lower back, your lumbar spine area. Do you feel that one side might be higher up off of the mat than the other side, or are they both similar? Go back to your shoulders and just do a little scan of how your arms and your hands feel. Particularly think about your wrists and your shoulders. Is one shoulder higher? Is one wrist lifted up higher, more off of the mat than the other side? My right wrist always seems to be higher than my left. I think that's something to do with 20 years of sitting at a desk using a mouse. Back to the scan, down to your hips, back to your hips in that lower back area, what's touching and what isn't touching. A little scan of how your legs feel, and right down to your feet. We're going to revisit that body scan. I want you to stand firmly in your feet. Feel even weight distribution from your big toe across to your little toe and right through your heel. You're going to start with some pelvic tilts to warm your lower back up. You're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to roll your pelvis backwards and allow your spine to gently flatten into the mat. And then you're going to roll your pelvis forwards and allow your back to arch up off of the mat. And then you've got a gentle roll back. You allow your spine to open and flatten into the mat. And then roll the pelvis forwards and allow the back to arch. So as you're rolling backwards and forwards, your knees are trying to stay nice and still. They're still in line with your second toes. As you roll backwards and forwards, you're standing firmly in your feet. You're keeping that nice even weight distribution across your feet. Your breath is helping you to move, gently rolling backwards and rolling forwards. You're going to do one more in each direction. Gentle roll backwards, allow the spine to flatten. Roll the pelvis forwards, let the back arch. And then rest in neutral. Thinking about now keeping that pelvis perfectly still. No movement from front to back, but also no lateral movement, no movement from side to side. Think about your ribs and how they feel touching the mat. I want you to keep all 12 ribs touching the mat. We're going to do some arm arcs. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to breathe out to float both arms to the ceiling. Your shoulders are broad and wide. And then you're bringing your arms back down to the mat. So you're going to inhale breath first. Exhale to float both arms to the ceiling, nice broad shoulders for me, and then bring them all the way back down. We're going to start to go and increase the range. Inhaling first, exhale, arms go to the ceiling. Take those arms further back, but try not to let any of your ribs move. And then float your arms all the way down by your side. So you're going to move in your own time, at your own pace, within your own range. Everybody's range is a little bit different. As soon as you start to feel your ribs leaving your mat, that is as far as your arms are to go back. You want to move your arms, just your arms and not your torso, by thinking about what's happening with your ribs. That gives you feedback. Your front ribs, they are funneled down towards your pelvis, and remember, your pelvis is not moving. Nice big deep breaths. The exhale breath as you take your arms backwards is designed to assist you to maintain that stability through your entire ribcage and torso area. We're going to do 2 more. Breathing in first, breathe out to float those arms to the ceiling and back as far as is comfortable for your body today. To listen to your body team that sends you messages for a reason. We've got 1 to go. Inhaling first, exhale, float those arms back. Nice and controlled, long arms, and then bring them all the way back down by your side. You're going to place your arms down by your side, palms are down, and arms are just gently engaged into the floor. We're going to move into some bridges. You're going to stand firmly in those feet. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to breathe out to tip your pelvis backwards, your spine imprints, and you're lifting your hips right up off of the mat. You're coming up to about the base of your shoulder blades. You're going to take a breath in there, and you're going to breathe out as you slowly come down through each vertebrae in your spine. 1 at a time, down through your lower back. Roll the pelvis through the neutral position at the bottom. So inhale first, gentle tilt back, spine imprints. Come up into your bridge, still standing firmly in those feet, arms still gently engaged into your mat. Pause there, take a breath in, and breathe out to come all the way down. Nice long breath, pelvis rolls through neutral. Okay, we're going to go again. I want you to start to think about your knees. As you come up into your bridge, I want you to push your knees out towards your second toes. I want you to hold your knees there for as long as you can as you slowly articulate down. Each vertebrae in your spine peels down 1 at a time, and your pelvis rolls through neutral. We're going to do 1 more like this. We're going to add some arms. Inhale first, gentle tilt back, spine imprints. Open up through those hips and come into your bridge. Pause there. Take a breath in and breathe out to come down. Each vertebrae peels down 1 at a time, pelvis rolls through neutral. Okay, we're going to add arms. We bridge first, we add arms, we bridge down, we bring our arms down. I'll walk you through it. Inhale first, gentle tilt back, spine imprints. Float up into your bridge position and hold there. Float your arms to the ceiling, keep your shoulders broad and wide. Take a breath in, breathe out to come down through each vertebrae 1 at a time. Allow your pelvis to roll through neutral and bring your arms all the way down by your side. You're going to go again. Inhale first, gentle tilt back, spine imprints. Float up into your bridge position. Hold there. Float your arms to the ceiling. Inhale there. Exhale, down you come. Nice and stable. Try not to let your hips wobble around. Arms return down by your side. You've got 2 to go. If you want to challenge yourself more, you can take your arms further back, but you don't need to. Inhale first. Exhale, up you come. Arms to the ceiling. Maybe they're a bit further back. And then down you come through your bridge. Keep your arms to whatever position you picked. And once your bridge is down, your arms float back down by your side. Last one. Inhale first, gentle tilt back, spine imprints. Go up into that bridge. Float your arms up, choose the position that you'd like for your arms. Take a breath in and breathe out. Down you come. Each vertebrae peels down 1 at a time. Once you're down, your arms float back down by your side. Let's stretch our hamstrings. So bring one leg up towards the ceiling, interlace your hands behind that leg, pull that leg in towards your chest. Your leg can be straight, it can be slightly bent, but I want you to feel the stretch to the back of your thigh and your hamstring. We're going to add a little neural floss here. So pull your toes to your nose, point your toes to the ceiling. Toes to nose, toes to ceiling. So a little flex and point. Nice big deep breaths, shoulders are staying nice and relaxed. 1 more each way. Then relax the foot, return that foot down to your mat. Change sides. Opposite leg comes up, interlace your hands, pull that leg in towards your chest. Get that lovely stretch down through the back of your thigh. Hold here for a moment. And then toes to nose, toes to ceiling. Toes to nose, toes to ceiling. Little flex and point. If the flex and point bothers you, feel free to leave it out. Toes to nose, toes to ceiling. 2 more. Last one. And then a leg returns back down to your side. I want you to keep your right leg bent, stretch your left leg out long and straight, have it on a 45-degree angle. So pretty much your knees are in line with each other. Point your toes away from you and draw me some circles. Circles not too big. I want you to be able to keep your right leg still. Nice big deep breaths. Toes are pointed away from you. You're getting that lovely length down through your hip. Nice big deep breaths, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Let's change the direction of your circle. Right leg's not moving. Imagine sitting on top of that right knee is a cup of coffee. You're trying to keep that cup of coffee nice and still. You're standing firmly in your right foot. Nice and relaxed through your head, neck and shoulders. One more circle here. Pause, bend your knee and return your foot to the ground. Bring your right leg up, send it out on that 45-degree angle, knees roughly in line, toes pointed away, and away you go. So imagine on the end of that toe of yours is a crayon. Let's call it a red crayon. You are drawing a red circle on the wall on the opposite side of your room. The red circle you're drawing is round. Change direction. Nice round circles. Your opposite foot is firm on the mat and you are breathing. Nice big deep breaths. Breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. Okay, you've got 2 more circles. And then you'll pause, bend your knee and return your foot to the ground. You're going to wriggle your knees and feet together so they're touching each other. You're going to keep your pelvis square and still. You're going to keep your right leg nice and still. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to breathe out to let your left knee go out towards the side without your right knee moving. And then you're going to pull it back to the centre line. You're going to alternate sides. Right leg goes out towards the side and then draw it back in. So you're going to alternate sides. Things that you're focused on is keeping your pelvis still. Imagine I put a spirit level across the front of your hips and your pelvis is nice and stable. Opposite leg is not moving. Taking nice big deep breaths. Breathing in through your nose, now through your mouth. If you feel your hips starting to tip or that imaginary spirit level starting to tip, then change the range. Don't go quite so far. We're going to do 1 more on each side. You're going to make sure that you finish on your right hand side and then you're going to pause. When you're in the centre, drop both knees apart and let them drop apart so much that the soles of your feet come towards each other. So just a nice little inner thigh stretch. Hang there for a second, some nice big deep breaths, breathing in, breathing out. 1 more breath. Then pull those legs back into the centre and place your feet back into hip width distance apart. We're going to roll through single leg stretch and single straight leg stretch one after the other. Have a rest if you want to have a rest. Listen to your bodies. Arms are down by your side, shoulders are broad. So nice and broad across your collarbone there. Imagine your collarbone is a big broad smile. You're going to keep that big broad smile. When you go up there, I'm going to remind you of it to make sure your shoulders haven't curled forwards. Stomach muscles gently engaged. We're not jamming anything on here. We've got a 10 to 15% engagement with our abdominals. We're going to take a breath in. We're going to breathe out to float one leg to 90 degrees and we're going to hold there. We're going to inhale there. We're going to exhale to bring our second leg up to join it. We're going to tuck our hands on top of our knees and then we're going to take a breath in. We're going to breathe out to lift our head, neck and shoulders up so we're looking down between our legs. Remember that broad shoulders and collarbone. Stretch one leg out nice and long and straight. Pull the other knee in towards your chest and then inhale, exhale, change them over. So you're going to swap them over in your own time. You're looking down between your legs. You're stretching one leg out and you're pulling the other knee in towards your chest. And the effort on these legs is matched. As much as you're pulling your leg in, you're stretching the other one out. You've still got your gaze down between your thighs. Nice big deep breaths, breathing in through your nose, breathing out through your mouth. We're going to do 1 more on each side. Gently pull the leg in, stretch the other one out. Last one here. Pause in the centre, bring both knees into your chest, drop your head, neck and shoulders down, hug your knees into your chest and a little roll of the spine. A little turn of the head as well. It's going to take any tension out of your neck. Okay. Pause here. Stretch both legs straight to the ceiling. Take your hands on the outside of your right leg. I want you to walk your hands up your leg and as you do, your head, neck and shoulders lifts up off the ground. I want you to drop your left leg down towards the mat. Long leg, you've got your scissors here. So inhale, exhale, scissor your legs over and change. So both legs are long, both legs are straight. You can hold on to the back of the calf. If you can reach your ankle, you can hold on to your ankle. You can choose. You're pulling one leg in towards your chest and you are stretching the other leg out long. Remember those broad shoulders. Remember the broad collarbone. Gaze, that is down between your thighs. Breath is matching your movement, inhaling and exhaling. Okay, we're going to do 1 more on each side. Last one here. Bring both legs back to the ceiling. Again, head, neck and shoulders come down, bend your knees, slide your hands around your shins and hug your knees into your chest. And stretch through your lower back, little roll, couple of breaths here. Nice. Bring your feet back down onto the mat for me. Lift your hips and slide your hands underneath your hips. That's going to help give you nice broad shoulders for me. Float one leg to 90 degrees and hold it there. Take a breath in, bring your second leg to join it. Stretch both legs straight to the ceiling and initially touch them together for me. Now, inhale first, exhale to lift your head, neck and shoulders. Look directly down to the middle of your thighs. The depth here is up to you. The lower the leg, the more challenge. Inhale first, exhale to lower one leg down towards the mat and then bring it back up. Doesn't need to be far. You can choose your own range. What you must be able to do is maintain your spine imprint. So if you feel your back lifting as you're lowering your leg, I don't want you to go so far. Keep your gaze down between your thighs. If you need a rest, have a rest. Make sure you're breathing, you're not holding your breath. Nice and controlled, lengthen through those legs, one more on each side. Lower the leg down, bring it back up. Last one. When you get to the top, pause. Place your head, neck and shoulders down on the mat. Bend your knees, place your feet down on the mat. Lift your butt, take your hands out from underneath your hips. Slide your legs out long and straight, take your arms above your head if you can. Reach through your fingers, reach through your toes. You should feel length from the front of your feet, right up through your legs, through your torso, rib cage, and opening through the palm of your hands to stretch your hands. Imagine I'm holding your toes, I'm pulling your legs, you're getting that beautiful extra length through your hips. You've got one more breath in here, and as you breathe out, you're going to float your arms to the ceiling, and you're going to bring them down, and you're going to place them right down by your side. Then you're going to roll onto your side, and you're going to cradle your head in on your arm for me. So onto your side, cradle your head in on your arm, your gaze is across the room. Knees are bent, feet are tucked back in line with your hips. Take your hand, place it on your hip and push your hip away from you. So you create a little gap within your waistline. Your hand can stay on your hip or it can come in front, you can choose. Okay, we're going to start with some little clams. So top knee lifts up off the bottom knee and then lower it down. As you lift and lower that knee, there's no movement through your hip. So if you feel your hip tipping backwards, you're not going to open that knee quite so far. Your breath is matching the movement. You're nice and controlled through your torso, a gentle lift and a gentle lower. Nice and controlled. Your hand could be on the mat in front if you prefer. You've got 2 to go. And last one. And then pause at the bottom. Okay, let's lift the whole leg up. Now, I want you to bring your knees together to touch and then bring your knee back up to the ceiling. And now touch your toes and your heels. So it's knee to knee, toe to toe, knee to knee, toe to toe. Keep breathing, knee to knee, toe to toe. That's it. Have a rest if you want. Knee to knee, toe to toe. 2 more. Knee to knee, toe to toe. Last one. Knee to knee, toe to toe. Let the leg rest for a second. All right, we're going to kick forwards and backwards in a minute, but we're going to do it with a bent leg. So lift the top leg up for me. Keeping that knee at that 90-degree angle, bring your leg forwards. There's your kick forwards. And then take your leg backwards. Keep that knee at that 90-degree angle. Hips are still. Inhale. As you glide that leg forwards, exhale as you glide that leg backwards. So your leg glides forwards, your pelvis doesn't move. Your leg glides backwards, your pelvis doesn't move. If you feel your pelvis starting to move, then you're not going to go quite so far back. You're working within the range that you are able to control. Gliding forwards and gliding backwards. Okay, you've got 2 to go. Inhale to come forwards. Exhale to go backwards. Last one, forwards and backwards. Pause and lower the leg down. Rub your hip out if you like. Bring your hand down on the mat in front of you. Stretch both legs out long and straight for me. Now legs, bring them just slightly forwards. A little bit further in front of your torso. Hand is on the mat, but you're not putting your entire body weight in it. You have some weight into that hand. You're going to turn your leg so your knee rotates to the ceiling. You're going to take your toes from your ankle to your knee. You're going to kick your leg up nice and high, and you're going to flex your foot as you bring it down. So we're going ankle to knee, we're kicking high, we're flexing the foot as you bring it down. Let that glide, ankle to knee, kick up, flex the foot to bring it down. Nice long breaths. Ankle to knee, kick up and lower it down. Body still, not too much weight into that hand. You're opening up that hip joint. As you bring your leg down, you're trying to reach your heel over the opposite ankle. Ankle to knee, kick the leg up and lower it down. Let's do one more. Ankle to knee, kick it right up and lower it all the way down. Okay, we're going to flip sides. I'm going to grab a sip of water as you flip around. First position is our clown position. Coming right down, cradling the head in the arm. Arm can be straight, bent. You can have a pillow there if you like. It's up to you. But make sure that your chin's up off of your chest, so you have a nice long neck. Knees are bent, feet are tucked back in line with your hips. Hand's going to come on your hip. Push your hip away from me, create that little space within your waistline, and then your hand can come in front if you prefer some stability, or it can stay on your hip. Okay, hips are still. Clams first. Lift the top leg up off of the bottom leg, and then lower it down. So it's a gentle open and close of the hip joint. The knee lifts towards the ceiling, the pelvis doesn't move. So picture in your mind what's happening in there. That ball and socket joint in your pelvis rolls out, and then it rolls back. Nice long breaths to match your movement. Gently opening and closing. You're not feeling your hip tip back. You're staying nice and stable and controlled. You've got nice long breaths. Gently lift and gently lower down. Then do two more. Lift and lower. And last one. Pause. Okay. Lift the entire leg up. Okay. We're going to go knee to knee, heel to heel. Knee to knee or toes to toes. You can choose knee to knee. Let's go toes to toes. Knee to knee, toes to toes. Have a rest if you want to have a rest. Knee to knee, toes to toes. Keep your breathing going. Knee to knee, toes to toes. Two more. Knee to knee, toes to toes. Last one. And let the leg rest. To give the hip a bit of a roll if you want. Rub if you want, I should say. Okay. Lift the leg up. Keep the right angle of the knee. Bring the knee forwards towards you. Take it backwards as far as you can without your hip tipping backs. Glide that knee forwards. Glide that knee backwards. Nice long breaths. Inhale as you bring it forwards. Exhale as you take it backwards. Nice and controlled through the hips and the torso. Breath matches your movement. Nice and controlled. If you feel your hip moving, you're going to change the range. Inhale to glide forwards. Exhale to glide backwards. Okay, one to go. Glide forwards, glide backwards. When you get to the center, pause and lower the leg down. Bring your hand on the mat to give you some stability. Stretch both legs out long and straight. Bring your feet just slightly further forwards in front of you. A little bit of weight into that hand, not too much for me. Fingertip touch is sometimes a good thing. Turn the leg so the knee rotates to the ceiling. Take the toes from the ankle to the knee. Keep the leg up nice and high. Flex the foot to bring it down. So ankle to knee, kick high. Flex the foot to bring it down. Pardon me, go within the range that you can control. If you're feeling your hips rocking and rolling around, make sure your core is just gently engaged. Kick high, flex the foot as you bring it down. So you're really opening up that hip joint. Okay, two more. Ankle to knee, kick up, flex the foot down. And last one. And rest. Right, we're going to our prone work. So we're going to flip over onto our stomachs. You're going to bring your arms into goalpost. We're going to start you there. We're going to get some warmth through the front of your chest and your spine. So goalpost position, a bit wider than your mat. Head resting down on your mat to begin with. Legs are touching each other to begin with. Shoulders are away from your ears. So feel your shoulder blades draw back and down. Core engagement. So you feel your belly button's got a gentle lift up off of the mat. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to breathe out to lift your face and lift your chest up off of the mat. And then you're going to lower yourself all the way down. Not too much pressure in those arms. Inhaling first. Exhale, up you come. And lower all the way down. So nice and relaxed through head, neck and shoulders. Arms are resting on the mat. The highest you're coming is about the bottom of your ribs for me. No tension in your neck and shoulders. Use your breath to assist you to move. You're going to do one more, and then we're going to add on. Inhale first, exhale, up you come, and then lower yourself all the way down. Okay, we're going to test how much pressure you're putting into your arms. Breathe in, breathe out to come up, hold here. Float your arms up off of the mat. Put your arms back down onto the mat and lower your body down. Your body position shouldn't have changed. Your chest should not have dropped. Inhale first, exhale, up you come. Hold here. Float your arms up for me. Put your arms back down. Put your body back down. One more. Inhale first, exhale, up you come. Hold here. Float your arms up. Put your arms down. Let your body come back down. We're going to do some scarecrows. We haven't done scarecrows in a while. I'm going to walk you through them. Legs are out nice and long. Head's resting on the mat. Arms are resting on the floor. First thing you're going to do is lift your hands and wrists up off of the mat. Then you're going to lift your elbows up off of the mat. You're now going to lift your face and chest up off of the mat. If you can, you're going to bring your arms up by your ears. You're going to return your arms back to your side. You're going to place your head down. You're going to bring your elbows down. And finally, your hands and wrists. So that section where your arms go above your head, that's your choice. That will challenge you a little bit more. You can just hang in goalposts. I'll cue you through all of that. Breathing. Inhale to lift your hands and wrists. Exhale to lift your elbows. Inhale to lift your face and sternum. Exhale to bring your arms above your head. Bring your arms back to that goalpost position. Lower your face and sternum. Bring your elbows down. And finally, your hands and wrists. We're going to go again, team. Inhale for hands and wrists. Exhale for elbows. Inhale, face and sternum. Exhale, arms come above your head if you can. Take your arms back for me. Lower your face and sternum. Bring your elbows down. And finally, your hands and wrists. 2 to go. Rest if you'd like to rest. Inhale to lift hands and wrists. Exhale to lift elbows. Inhale, face and sternum. Exhale, arms come above your head. Return your arms. Lower your face and sternum. Bring those elbows down. And finally, those hands and wrists. Last one. Inhale for hands and wrists. Exhale for elbows. Inhale, face and sternum. Exhale, arms come above your head. Return your arms. Face and sternum down. Elbows. And finally, those hands and wrists. Let's go to child's pose. So take your bottom back towards your heels. Arms in front for me. If that bothers you, put them by your side. That's cool. Sink your hips back towards your heels. A little gap between your knees. Breathe. Nice big deep breaths. Breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. If you like, you can wriggle your fingertips further away from you. You're going to get more of a stretch through your shoulders. Big deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Focus when come back down on our stomachs. This time we're going to come right down. We're going to put one hand on top of the other. And we're going to rest our forehead down on our hands. So we're going to do some swimming legs today, just swimming legs. Head's resting on your hands. Your head could be sideways if that's more comfortable for you. Your shoulders are away from your ears. Your neck is nice and long. Your tummy muscles are switched on. First thing you can do is take a breath in and breathe out to lift both legs up. Nice long legs. And then lower them all the way down. Hip bones stay connected to the mat. Inhale first, exhale up, you come, lengthen those legs and lower them all the way down. So in a perfect world, as you lift your legs, you should feel your calves click on, your hamstrings click on, and then finally your butt. As you do these, have a little think about that. Inhale first, exhale up they come. Calves, hamstring, glutes, and slowly down. You might feel that one glute is switched on more than the other. That's pretty normal. Gentle lift and lower. We're going to do one more. Inhale first, exhale. Float those legs up. Calves, hammies, and glutes. Okay, we're going to go into little swimming kicks. We're going to change some paces here. Inhale first, exhale, lift those legs and little flutter kicks. You're swimming in a pool, your body's still, you've got length in your legs. You're going to pause, hold your legs up. So slow, one leg up, one leg down, change over, one leg up, one leg down, change over, one leg up, one leg down, change over, one leg up, one leg down. Don't put your legs down, 2 to go, one leg up, one leg down, you should feel them working, one leg up, one leg down, one more on each side, one leg on up, one leg down, and last one, pause and rest. Okay, back into child's pose. Bottom back to heels. Sink into it. Take some nice big deep breaths. Again, I'm going to have a little sip of water. You can hang there for a second and breathe for me. Sinking into those heels. Okay, let's do some cat and cow stretches. So come forwards on your hands and knees. Make sure you're in your quadruped position so you've got a nice alignment. You're going to drop your head down between your arms. You're going to arch your back right up towards the ceiling and let that spine stretch. You're going to bring your stomach down towards the mat and you're going to take your gaze across the room out in front of you. You're going to let your head drop down between your arms. Arch your back. Open that spine right up towards the ceiling for me. And then tummy comes down, gaze goes out across the room. One more each way. Head comes down, arch that back up towards the ceiling for me. And then last one, tummy comes down, gaze goes out. Pause, rest in the middle. Similar to quadruped but different. Staying on your hands and knees, keeping one leg bent, lift it up for me. Okay, so you got a bent leg. Sole of the foot to the ceiling. Pelvis is square. Push your foot up towards the ceiling, lower it down. Push your foot to the ceiling, lower it down. So on your hips is a cup of coffee. Don't let it move, don't let it spill. Keep your pelvis square to the ground. You've got 3 to go. Push the heel up to the ceiling, lower it down. 2 more. Last one. Return that knee down. Pelvis is still stable and still. Change sides. Bring the leg up. Keep it at that 90-degree bend. Sole of the foot to the ceiling. Push the sole up and down. Pelvis is still. Sole of the foot pushing to the ceiling and down. Gaze. Keep looking out in front of your hands. Nice big deep breaths. You've got 3 to go. Push the sole of the foot to the ceiling. Bring it down. 2 to go. Last one. Return the knee down. Wriggle forwards onto your mats if you're not already at the edge of your mat. We're going to go into a glute stretch. Let's stretch them out. So little pigeon stretch, number 4. If you can take both of your feet to the left. Pick up your left foot. Put it in the middle of your mat. Slide the left foot down. Come down onto your forearms. Head can drop down between your arms. Sink into that deep hip stretch for me. The further forwards your right foot is, the more intense that stretch will be. Watch your shoulders, don't drop up by your ears while you're down here. And breathe. Nice big deep breaths. Okay, you're going to pull yourself back up onto all fours. We're going to change sides, both feet going out towards the right. Pick the right foot up, put it in the middle of the mat, down you go. Onto your forearms. You can wriggle that foot back a bit further and just sink into it. Breathing in, breathing out. Big deep breath in and out. Last one. Okay, carefully coming out of it. We're going to flip you around into mermaid seat. Mermaid seat, mermaid position, for a bit of choice of grammar. Okay, so I'm going to get you to perhaps just right foot in front, left leg behind. If you do the same as me, the cues will make sense. Right leg in front, left leg behind. Now, if you feel that your hip is lifted or you feel really your knee is lifted, you can slide a bit of a pillow, rolled up towel, or even roll up your mat and stick it under that side that feels a bit high. You can stretch one leg out long and straight. If you feel cramping or pinching in the hip, feel free to do that. That's perfectly fine. Right. Pardon me, sitting up tall. Ribs are lifted up off hips. So as opposed to this, we have this. Whilst we've lifted our ribs off of our hips, our shoulders are down. So we haven't brought our shoulders up by our ears. Float your arms out towards the side. Your right palm is down, your left palm is up. Sit tall, focus on a spot on the other side of your broom. We're going to the right side first. Take a breath in, breathe out, hand comes down, elbow softens, and you're reaching right across the top of your head. Your hips not coming off of the mat. You're coming through the center and you're changing sides. Inhale there. Exhale, over you go. Hand comes down, elbow softens, great big reach, hips stay connected to the mat. come through the center, shoulders drop away from your ears, and over to the other side. Inhale first, exhale, over you go. Hand comes down, elbow softens, reach, 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 reach through the center, shoulders away from the ears, and over to the other side. Okay, we're going to do one more each way. Inhale first, exhale, over you go. Hand comes down, soften through that right elbow, left arm reaches right across the top of your head, your hips are grounded, you've got one more to the other side, over you go. When you get back to the middle, pause, just lower your arms down. Going to get you to change your feet around. You can keep your hands on the mat while you do it. If you want to challenge, lift your hands up, swing your feet around, and put yourself on the other side. Again, if you feel one side is a bit tight, feel free to put a pillow, rolled up towel, little lift through the hip. Sitting up as straight as you can, nice and tall, ribs are up off of the hips, shoulders away from the ears. Arms out towards the side, palm down, palm up. Looking across the room, keeping your eyes on that spot, take a breath in and breathe out to go over. Hand comes down, elbow softens, nice big reach all the way through your side. You're going to come back through the center and you're going to go to the other side. Inhale first, exhale, over you go. Hand comes down, elbow softens. Okay, feel that length you're creating down through your right hand side, come back through the center and change. So you should have one breath pattern for each movement. Your hips stay grounded on the mat. If you feel your hips lifting, you're getting the range by lifting your hip, not by stretching down through your side. This is a lateral stretch, lateral flexion. That is movement sideways. Let's do one more each way. Inhale, exhale, over you go. Big, big, big stretch through your side. You've got one more to the other side. When you get back into the middle, pause, lower your arms down, give your shoulders a roll. Roll them one way, roll them the other way. Okay, let's stretch our legs out long and straight in front of us and have our feet hip width distance apart. So hip width distance apart, and we're going to flex our feet. So your toes are pulled towards your nose, you're sitting up nice and tall. You've got a couple of hand positions to choose from. You could have your hands sitting across your chest or your arms straight out to the side. I'm going arms to the side. You can choose, you can change partway through. Heels are firmly on the floor, sitting up nice and tall. You've still got that feeling of your ribs lifted up off of your waistline and your shoulders away from your ears. Moving to the left first. Take a breath in, breathe out. Twist yourself around towards the left. Come through the center and twist around towards the right. Okay, so just go in your own time. You're looking for an exhale breath as you twist. You're looking for an inhale breath as you come through the center. Your arms are long, your hands are in line with your shoulders, your feet are still. If you feel your feet moving, a bit like a clutch and an accelerator sort of motion, then your hips are moving. So gently push down on the foot that you are twisting towards. We're going to do two more each way. Inhale, exhale to twist. Back through the center. Last one we've got one more each way, I lied. One more each way. Last one, I want you to finish on the right. Pause in the middle, lower your arms down. Slide your hands down your mat, reach forwards, reach down towards your ankles. Maybe you can reach the bottom of your feet. Maybe you can touch the bottom of your feet and your toes. If you can, wherever you're holding on to, just drop your head, stretch yourself out. A couple of breath patterns here. Okay, then let go of whatever it is you're holding on to. Slowly come back up to the top and rest for a second. Scoot your butt down towards the end of your mat. We're going to do some roll like a balls. So you've got some choices here. If rolling like a ball isn't good for your body today, then just balance. Practice your balance. Tuck your chin in towards your chest and scoot your belly backwards. You're still going to have your abdominals working, just balancing there. Things to think about with your roll like a ball. I don't want any flicking with the feet. Try not to let them flick. So if you tuck your hands behind your knees for your roll like a ball, watch the flicking with your feet. Where your eyes go, your body will go. So if you keep looking towards your pelvis, that is going to help keep you in that little rounded spine position. We're looking for a quiet roll like a ball. So if you have a bit of a flat spot in your back, you'll hear a little bit of a thud as your back touches the mat. Don't overthink it, just be aware of it. The first one never ever counts. So chin tucked into your chest, scoop of the belly backwards, shoulders away from your ears. In your own time, remember to breathe as you won't get back up. You're going to inhale to roll back. You're going to exhale to roll back up and balance at the top. Inhaling to go back, exhaling up. shoulders nice and relaxed. Inhale back, exhale up, balance at the top. Keep looking towards your pelvis. Have a little rest if you want to have a little rest. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Imagine you're in a little bubble. Inhale to roll back, exhale to roll back up. You've got 3 to go if you can. If you prefer to have a little rest, have a little rest. Try not to let your feet touch the mat. Exhale up. Inhale back. Exhale up. Last one. Inhale back. Exhale up. Pause at the top and relax. Slide your butt back. Have your knees bent. Have your knees and feet touching each other. Feet are firm on the mat. Try not to let them move. That'll make sense in a minute. They're engaged. You're gently squeezing your legs together. It'll help you switch all of your leg muscles on. You're sitting tall to begin with. Your hands are on the outside of your knees. We're doing some half rollbacks. You're going to take a breath in. As you exhale, chin comes to chest, scoop of the pelvis. Slowly roll down a bit, not too far. Pause there. Breathe in. And then breathe out to come all the way back up. Sit up nice and tall for me. You're choosing your own depth. Inhale first, exhale back you go. The further you go back, the more challenging it is, and then roll back up. Mindful of feet. Try not to let them move. Chin to chest, legs are still engaged. Little roll back. Pause there. Breath in, and then roll back up. Okay, we've got 3 to go. Inhale first, exhale down you go. Pause there. Take a breath in, and roll back up. Sitting nice and tall. Rest if you want to rest. 2 to go. Chin to chest. Roll back. Pause. Inhale. Roll back up. That's my tummy muscles shuddering. That made me giggle. Last one. Mine do it too. Pause. And roll back up. Stretch your legs out long and straight. Have your heels either right at the end of the mat or just over the mat. We're doing one full roll down. Sitting up nice and tall. Arms are on the horizontal. Shoulders away from your ears. Inhale first. Gentle tuck of the chin to the chest. Slowly roll all the way down. You're going to float your arms to the ceiling. You're going to take them right over the top of your head. You're going to circle your arms around and you're going to bring them down by your side. Okay, book openings. Flip over onto your side. Cradle your head in on your arm. Have your knees bent and your feet tucked back in line with your hips. Arm comes forwards. Rest it down on the floor in front of you. Knees are gently squeezed together. You're going to keep those knees squeezed together. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to breathe out to bring your arm to the ceiling. Let your gaze follow your hand and then bring your hand back down to the floor. Inhale first. Exhale. Arm comes to the ceiling. Gaze follows the hand and bring the hand back down to the floor. Okay, you're going to move into rotation. Keep your knees squeezed together. Take your arm to the ceiling. Move into rotation. Try not to let your hips tip backwards. Lengthen your arm to the ceiling and bring it all the way back to the floor. Nice long breaths. Inhale first, exhale, back you go. Hips are nice and still. Lengthen your arm to the ceiling and bring it back to the floor. On the next one, think about what's happening with your shoulder blade. As your arm goes to the ceiling, your shoulder blade glides into the middle of your spine. And you're going to lengthen your arm to the ceiling and you're going to bring it back to the floor. Okay, 2 to go. Inhale first, exhale, back you go. Nice long arm. Remember those knees and those hips are nice and still. Lengthen your arm to the ceiling and back to the floor. Okay, last one, we're going to hang out there. Arm to the ceiling. Moving to your rotation. And that's the point. You can drop your hips back a bit. Arms going to go further to the ground. Hang there and breathe. Nice big deep breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out. Okay, stomach muscles switched on. Squeeze those knees together. Lengthen that arm to the ceiling and bring it all the way back to the floor. Okay, let's change sides. Wriggle yourself around. Take your time. There's no rush. Lift you down. Cradle your head in on your arm. Knees are bent. Feet are tucked back behind you. Top arm comes out on the floor in front of you. Chin's up off of your chest so your neck and shoulders are nice and organised. First 2 of these go to the ceiling. Inhale first. Exhale, arm to the ceiling. Gaze follows the hand. And then bring the hand back down to the floor. Inhale first, exhale, arm comes to the ceiling, gaze follows the hand, and then back down to the floor. Okay, moving into rotation. Arm goes to the ceiling, rotate further back, knees are squeezed together, lengthen the arm to the ceiling, and bring it all the way back to the floor. nice and controlled. Long arm, float it up, float it back, keep your hips nice and still. And then long arm to the ceiling and back to the floor. And the next one, think about that shoulder blade. As your arm comes to the ceiling, your shoulder blade glides into the middle of your spine. You are rotating further back. Your hips are nice and still. Lengthen your arm to the ceiling and bring it back to the floor. We're going to do 2 more. Inhale first, exhale, back you go. And then bring it all the way home. And the last one, we're going to hang out there. Inhale first, exhale, back you go. Breathe out as you go back. When you find that point, you just cannot get any further. That's where you can drop your knees apart so you can get your arm further to the ground. And breathe. Big deep breaths. One more breath pattern. Squeeze your knees together, lengthen your arm to the ceiling and bring it back to the floor. Okay, roll onto your back for me. Have your knees bent to begin with. Okay. Stretch your left leg out long and straight. Bring your right leg up to tabletop. Put your left hand on the outside of your right knee. Gently pull that knee across your body. Your right arm can go on the floor next to you to give you some stability, and you're gently just pushing down on that knee. You should feel that lovely stretch through your hip. Try not to let your shoulders leave the mat. Pull that knee back through the center. Slide it out long and straight. Left leg comes to tabletop. Right hand on the outside of that knee. Pull that knee across your body. Left arm's a little bit wider on the mat to give you some stability. Try not to let your shoulders leave. And breathe. Nice big deep breaths. Bring your legs back to center. Both knees are bent. Knees and feet are coming together to touch. Arms a little bit wider than the mat. Drop both knees to the right hand side. Take your gaze over your left shoulder. Nice big deep breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Squeeze your knees together, pull them through the center of the mat, drop them to the opposite side. Gaze over your right shoulder. Again, nice big deep breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. We're going to do 2 of these each way. Okay, pull knees back through the center again. They're going to drop to the right hand side. Your gaze goes over your left shoulder. And breathe. And last one, squeeze the knees through the middle of the mat, drop them to the left hand side, gaze over your right shoulder. Breathe. Pull yourself back into the center, slide your arms down by your side, wriggle your feet back into hip width distance apart. Okay team, revisit your body scan. Start at the top of your head. Think about head, neck and shoulders, what's touching the mat and what isn't touching the mat. Maybe your shoulders feel closer to the mat than before. Rib cage. Do you feel like more of your rib is connecting to the mat than it was before? Nice big deep breaths. Go back to your shoulders and run down your arms. How do your arms feel? Do they feel more relaxed? Do you feel broader through the shoulder and the collarbone? Come back to the torso, down through the lower back and the lumbar spine. What's touching the mat and what isn't touching the mat? And finally down to those feet. What's touching and what isn't touching. Nice. We're going to come up to sitting. You have some choices. You can just sit yourself up. You can come with me and do a half roll up. You can choose. If you're coming with me to do a half roll up, you're going to float one leg to tabletop. You're going to hold it there. You're going to bring your second leg up as well. You're going to tuck your hands in underneath your knees. Your arms are long and straight. You're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to bring your chin to your chest. You're going to push your feet away from you. You're going to roll yourself up and you're just going to sit. You're going to sit for a minute and you're going to make sure you don't feel dizzy or lightheaded. And then we're going to come up to standing. So slowly up to standing. Take your time coming up for me. And then once you're up, you're going to stand with your feet hip width distance apart. You're going to stand up nice and tall. You're going to take one hand, you're going to bring it to the top of your opposite arm. You are going to gently squeeze that arm. You're going to use your forefingers and your thumb to squeeze that arm. You are squeezing the arm at the front and the back. You're working your way right around that forearm. You're not hurting yourself, but you're giving it a bit of love. You want to make it feel like you're giving it a massage. You're going to work your way down towards your elbow. Okay? you're going to go into the elbow. You're going to work your way down through the forearm, front, back, giving a gentle squeeze. That's it. You're going to work your way right down towards your wrist, giving a gentle squeeze. And then you're going to come down into the palm of your hand, and again a gentle squeeze. Okay, you're going to take your hand back to the top of the opposite arm, top of the same arm, and you're going to brush it 5 times. You've got a fingertip touch. You brush it 5 times from top to bottom. And it's a really light touch. You might feel some pins and needles sort of feeling in your fingertips. So you want to do 5 of these. I've got 1 to go. Then you're going to hang your arms down by your side. You're going to feel the difference between your arms. One arm should feel longer than the other. It may well be longer than the other. Shoulders should feel nice and relaxed. Come to the other side, hands to the top of the arm, and a gentle massage through the arm, front and back. Work your way around that arm, don't hurt yourself. Keep it moving. That's it. Go right down towards the elbow, keep massaging. That's it. And then you'll go down the forearm, through the elbow joint, down the forearm, squeezing front and back. This forearm might be much tighter than the other. Maybe it needs a bit more love. This is my right arm. My right arm is tighter than my left. Guess which one I do more work with. Front and back, down into the elbow joint. No, wrist joint. And down into the palm of the hand. Okay, hand coming back to the top of that same arm, and you're going to brush it 5 times. Top to bottom, fingertip touch. Top to bottom, fingertip touch. Top to bottom. 2 to go. Top to bottom. Last one. Okay, arms down by your side, standing nice and tall. Feet hip width distance apart. You are weighted 60-40 through your feet. So 60% is through the front of your feet, 40% is through your heels. So you feel like you could start to topple over, but you're not going to let yourself topple over. You're going to roll up and down. So you're going to take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to bring your chin to your chest. So you're looking down towards your toes, and you're going to roll forwards. You've still got that weight distribution of 60-40, and your arms are just hanging. You're going to pause there. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to lead with your tailbone. Your hips are still as you roll your spine back up. You're coming up bit by bit by bit. You're going to stand nice and tall with your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, breath, gentle tuck of the chin to the chest, and you go. Long breath out, let those arms hang for me. When you get to the bottom, inhale, lead with the tailbone, tailbone tuck, scoop through the belly, slowly come back up. You're going to come back up, stand tall. Just make sure you're not feeling dizzy or lightheaded. If you're okay, going again. Tuck of the chin to the chest. Nice long breath out as you go all the way down. Use your breath to help facilitate your movement. Pause there. Inhale, lead with the tailbone. Work through the lower back and the lumbar spine, up through each of the ribs in your back. And then finally bring your head back onto the top of your spine. You've got 1 left. Inhale first, tuck of the chin to the chest, and you go. Let all the air out of your lungs, make room for clean air. Pause there. Take a breath in. Roll up through your spine bit by bit. Each vertebrae one at a time. Pause at the top and rest. A little roll of your shoulders. You're going to roll them 3 times in each direction. Go the other way. And once you've done your 3, you're going to relax. You're going to keep your shoulders away from your ears. Enjoy that class, team. Any issues, let me know, and I will see you all soon. Bye now.